Rebecca when I was at Duke Ellington School of the Arts in 1982, I believe. I had just been here for, almost 2 years. And I had discovered theater through street theater, so political satire. What's called desfile bufo in Latin America, which is basically characters coming out in public parades, mocking the power structures. So the Latino Fest, I came here July 26th of 1980, just as the Salvadorian Civil War was about to just explode full force. And it so happens that the Salvadorian float for the Latino Festival was being built in the backyard of our house, and my brother was this political activist, and I was just coming from the student movement in El Salvador, and I was in drag 4 days later. I was the wife of the Salvadorian president, so I have a wig on, fake breasts, glasses, dress, and I'm hand in hand with the Salvadorian president. And I'm walking down Columbia Road in Washington, D.C. in the biggest Latino parade. And that was the first time that there was a political float. And there was all this controversy. And the next year, we got taken out by the police because we were just way too political. And that was the beginning of my journey into art and theater and poetry. So when I went to Duke Ellington, I realized that I liked what I was doing, but that there was no way that I could do Shakespeare. There's no Latinos in Shakespeare. At least blacks have Othello, And, but I just realized that what I was being taught, really had to do with a reality of a different power structure. Chekhov and Ibsen and Miller and Williams and the world of the theater was. And then somebody suggested that I apply for a scholarship with Living Stage, and I got in for the summer of 1982, I believe. And my teacher was Jennifer Nelson, who was, the acting partner, but I met Rebecca, I met Bob Alexander, and I met, just the power of Living Stage, and that motto of all power to the imagination. Take your shoes off, dream, scream, rah, And that was the beginning of that journey with Rebecca and, her cohorts.
So how would you describe your art?
I describe my art as wow. That's a great question. I'll say confrontational. I'll say a type of work that accepts that art must serve a purpose. That you don't make art for art's sake. And if you do, perhaps that means that you are comfortable, too comfortable, that you're part of the elite. One of the things that I learned from Rebecca and work with Living Stage was that you have to be a voice for the voiceless. That there is millions and millions and millions of people around the world that don't get to speak for themselves. And that the role of the artist has to be that of a conduit for the dreams and aspirations, the wants and needs of people that never get listened to.
And so, did you ever see Rebecca perform?
Yes, I saw Rebecca perform many times, and
Can you think of one performance, or did you see Everlasting Arms, or?
I saw the one where she used and I don't wanna wait in vain for
Oh, you saw Waiting in Vain.
Yes, and that was one of the. I saw several of her performances, and my memory is just it's very faulty. But to this day, I saw I Might Have Been a Queen.
Ah, I Might Have Been Queen.
Yes. So I saw that, and I saw her in several things. I saw.
So when I Might Have
But I also saw Rebecca perform with the Living Stage companies
Right.
many times, where she played children, where she played mothers, where she played addicts. So yeah, I was witness to a lot of that. But I also had the privilege of hiring her. We became colleagues. And I did a project. Excuse me. Let's take that back.
Mm-hmm.
I
You had the privilege of hiring her.
I did a project, and it was one of the first encounters between Black and Latino kids in Columbia Heights, in the Columbia Heights neighborhood, and it was called Worlds Apart Together, and it was a collaboration between the Latin American Youth Center and the Columbia Heights Youth Club, and we had a budget. So, and I was like a staff person, and I was still at Ellington, and we had money, so we hired her, and she came in, and we worked together as co-teachers, and then from then on, the relationship just stayed there for many years, and we kept working together in different projects and running into each other. And then
What was the relationship?
it was the relationship with Rebecca was one of dialogue and one of nurturing. And she was much older. I remember a day she and Jennifer and a lot of other Black artists, along with all these white artists, Rick Reinhardt, Nancy Garruba. I mean, there was a bunch of people. They created this thing called Black Artists, White Artists. And somehow they invited me in. But in the process, they realized that I wasn't part of it. But, I felt honored that I was taken in by this older people. And I attended some of their sessions and meetings. And so I was part of, I think, of a selected few that got to sit in several different processes, and the last thing I did with Rebecca was the Southwest Project.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You guys?
Hold on for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and do what you need to do.
Sorry.
Actually, go ahead and
Turn off the laptop? I can go back.
No,
No,
we're using the
keep it.
image.
Okay.
No, keep it.
If you need, I can go back up and do all that.
Actually, Sheila,